Anyways, Onyxia, real guide for dummies, or raid guide. Guys, open up the PowerPoint or the Discord stream. Let's go through it. It'll be quick. Here is the Onyxia entrance. It is in Dustwallow Marsh, the Worm Bog. This is the map of it. We will enter. There's maybe 3 pools of trash and then the boss. It is quick and it is easy. You can see the whelp eggs here in these corners. Obviously, don't touch them. They spawn whelps when you do. Very easy. We'll move on to the next part. Let me go slideshow here, full screen. The trash, none of this is a big deal. Basically, don't stand next to the warders and don't stand in front of them. They do an explode and they cleave. That's pretty much it.
These mobs actually hurt. They can kill melee.
Yeah, so melee, I almost want to just say maybe fire protection potion. If you really want to go in, I don't want you guys to be stingy on consumes. This is the raid. All right, this is the time to use it. I want you to think about dying with like an entire bag full of consumes. That would be stupid. So don't be stingy. Just look at them like cooldowns, truthfully. So we're going to go through the trash. Here's the Onyxian whelps. They're easy. Whatever. Should be picked up by Optech. This is during the fight. We'll explain that in a bit. All right. So phase 1. What's going to happen? What is scary about this boss? It is a threat issue. Pulling aggro, she often uses an ability that reduces the tank's threat. So not only will you need to be below the tank's threat, but you will need to be plenty enough below threat where when she does wing buff it, which is the threat kind of decrease, you still don't pass the tank in threat. The easiest phase, save all damage, so we're not going to do shit during this phase. We're just going to auto-attack, we're going to chill, no big deal. Don't stand behind the target, don't stand in front of the target. If you stand behind her, you will get hit by a tail sweep. It will knock you back. And the problem with getting knocked back is you could get knocked into the eggs and then spawn a bunch of whelps. Cleave, I shouldn't have to tell you why standing in front is even worse. You could just die instantly. End of your life. And even worse than cleave is the flame breath. It's a dragon. It's typical. Don't stand in front, don't stand behind, and then the wing buff it. Simple as that. On pull, I'm going to go in. I'm going to hit him a couple of times. We're going to pull rage on the first or the last trash before the boss. I'm going to try and get her in position. I'm going to try and get good threat. And on my go ahead is when you can start pumping without cooldowns, but you can pump. And then stand in the right spot, and that is it. That is all phase 1. Easy. Phase 2. This is a very scary phase, but we're going to try and skip it entirely. So when Onyxia gets to 70%, not 65, ignore the PowerPoint, 70%, I want Recklessness. I want Death Wish. I want, what's that hunter shit called with attack speed increase? Rapid fire. I want freezing veins, icy veins, adrenaline rush, blade flurry, everything. You save every cooldown for this. And we're going to knock her ass from 65 to 40% to skip this phase. But we're going to talk about it regardless because it might happen. Ampi said it's never happened. He doesn't even remember. He hasn't seen it in forever because it is standard to skip this phase. And his groups haven't been shit. We are shit. So we're going to prep for it fucking up. The whelps will spawn from openings on both sides. We'll have tanks to pick them up. It's going to be Mizkif and Seedank. Okay, I will be on the boss. I don't want to hear that. When she's in the air, everyone is going to use a GFPP. And we'll explain why in a second. She will stop doing everything from phase 1. She will target random people, and she will throw a fireball at you. And it does damage to that person and everyone 8 yards within them. So we kind of want to be a little spread out, but try not to focus too much on it. And I'll explain why you should focus on something even more detrimental. This is why. So when she flies in the air, she will do a breath. And there are 4 different directions that she can do that breath. And it will cover the entire orange in these pictures. If you are in this orange, as she is sweeping across the map, you die. If you are unsure, if you are in a safe spot, because typically a really good Onyxia raider will recognize where the breath is going to be, and they will tell you where to run. None of us are. No one sees this mechanic that's good at the game anymore because they skip that phase. So we might just fucking Petri. Just Petri to be safe. if we do get this. And the other problem, you see all the green safe areas. That's great and all, but remember the part where you have to spread as well? You can imagine how chaotic and bad it can really get. So we're going to go ahead and probably just fucking Petri if a breath is going to go off. And we're just going to immune all of it. And then hopefully by then, by you guys fireballing her and shooting her while she's in the air, we will, end the phase. And that's pretty much phase 2. Then phase 3 is going to happen. It's pretty much phase 1, but harder. We're not going to have our cooldowns for this. She's going to have a threat reset. So this is where a lot of people fuck up. They just like, oh, let me start pumping again. Nope, it's a threat reset. We have to get her in position. I need to generate threat. You need to take your hands off the fucking keyboard. Let me get her in the spot. Let me get some threat and give you the go-ahead to start pumping. If you do fuck up, you're going to need to blast, you need a Petri or lip, either one. Because if you face her the wrong way, if you're standing on her side and she faces you because you pulled threat, she could breath the entire raid. She will cleave the entire raid, and people will die. And not only that, because I'm no longer tanking, I'm going to fall farther and farther back on the threat meter, which means another person's going to pull threat. And this is how
whip people with her tail if she moves.
Yeah, everything just gets fucked up. Everything gets fucked up. There's very few safe spaces on this dragon that you can stand. So you pull threat, this is what happens. Everything falls apart. This is why there's Onyxia wipes. It's literally just pulling threat when you shouldn't. That's it. So that's the most important thing with Onyxia. If you guys do that, this boss dies easily. Okay? But to go over phase 3 and the difference is there's still flame breath, there's still the tail sweep, there's still a wing buffet, the extra ability. This is why it's so much harder. She will fear everyone for 4 seconds on the map. We're going to fear ward the tank because, like I said, if she starts facing the wrong way and attacking other people or just getting moved around, it's bad. So I'm going to be fear warded. Who the fuck's calling me? I'm going to ignore that right now. We're going to fear ward me, and we'll go over assignments on that. And all of you are going to get feared, and you're going to run through the lava. There's a bunch of pictures at the bottom. You'll see cracks in the floor. Let's go back to the room. That's a good picture. You see all these little cracks in the floor? Lava is going to start sprouting up from it, and it's going to hurt, but you're not going to die. It hits for what, 1,000? I'm not sure. I'm going to guess 1,000, something like that, and it hurts, but just don't stand in the cracks, okay? And deal with the fear, spam GFPPs, and this boss should die. If you get feared in front of the boss, which can happen and has happened and honestly likely will, lip. Make sure you fucking lip. Or you can Petri if you really want to. You just don't want to get put in front of the boss and then get breathed on and cleaved. So keep that in mind. And it won't even be your fault if it does. Just have these safeguards ready. I don't want people dying. And that's literally all of Onyxia. The only other thing I would remind you of, in order to enter Onyxia's lair, the little dungeon, you need to have this necklace. It won't let you enter without it. That's your attunement. And you can do the quest line, but at the end of the quest line, you get this neck. You need to have it in your bags, not your bank, your bags. So make sure, honestly, just get it now and keep it there and don't take it out. And you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's Onyxia. We're obviously going to go over this when we actually get to Onyxia, but this is it. So Volps made this. I didn't even ask him to, so thank you, Volps. That is it. For those of you that don't understand this fight or you're not comfortable, fucking study. All right? Watch YouTube videos of the fight just to get a feel of the pacing of the fight, what everything actually looks like, because I would really like to see Molten Core